Good evening and welcome back. I saw this post this morning. I was directly tagged in it in the MainWP users group, and I read what Joss had to say, and it's quite a common request. I've flipped through, so I saw this at about 43 minutes after I was tagged, which is 8 hours ago now, and I went for the forums and the feature requests, and it is quite a common request. There is lots and lots of information here, and I've decided to see if I could do something about it. And I've taken this to be my brief, because it was the most descriptive brief that I could find for this. But it comes up time and time again. Each one of these I'm clicking to is a separate task where it's being asked for over and over again. And actually, I've never thought of needing it. I don't currently manage clients. I manage a lot of sites myself, so it's not been needed for me. But I thought I'd do something about it. So I'd like to introduce what is going to become known as client notes for Pro Report, which has just been put onto GitHub 11 minutes ago, so that I meet my target that I set myself, which was to do what had been requested as best as I could in the 8 hours I had available today. And I don't think I've done too bad. I do have a working prototype. It doesn't not have issues. And I will go over those in the demonstration in the video that we're going to go over. And yeah, I haven't issued a release to it yet, but I will do that after I release this video. So this I'm going to go through the GitHub README first. So this is client notes for Pro Reports. It is a standard MainWP extension, just like the other two that I've done. It looks like this when it's installed. It adds a new tab in your client sites called Work Notes. It allows you to add work notes, and when you have work notes, you can edit them and delete them. It renders a brand new Pro Report code called Client Custom Work Notes, which generates a table of date and works. So the reason I've done date and works is because it formed part of our primary brief here, and it kind of makes sense with the way that Pro Reports works. Given that we generate reports based on dates, this means that we're not going to constantly reuse the same notes. It also means that you can set this up automatically and it will generate and send the notes out. If you think about them on the first of the month and you want them in your next band of reports, you can just add them to each of the clients individually. You could probably do a bulk upload via a function as well, but I haven't looked at that. But I've designed this for individual notes for individual clients. And yeah, that was my basis for this. That was my brief. And we're going to go through it. I'm going to install it. I'm going to add a couple of notes, and we're going to generate this report so that you can see exactly what I do, how it works, etc. And as I said, I will go over some of the issues with you. There's two that I know of, but it does function. It does do what has been requested, and hopefully it does do somebody some good. So I'm going to flick over to my site, which is a dummy local install of a WordPress installation, and it already has the MainWP dashboard and the Pro Report extension installed. So I'm going to go to Add New Plugin. I'm going to upload the plugin, and I'm going to grab the report and put it in. So it will now begin to install, and I will activate it, and that's it, done. So I will now go to my MainWP dashboard. I'll navigate to site, and in this example I have two child sites attached. The reason I've done that is to show that they are separate, they do not mix, and we're going to do that by adding one in the report. So actually the first thing I'm going to do is go to my report, because it's important to remember the parameters that we're working to. So if we go to Pro Reports, I've already built a additional section to my report. So this is a standard report. We're only doing MainWP child, not second. And I've added the following task with the completed during your month and the casework notes. But the important thing to remember here is the dates. So it's the 6th of the 8th to the 6th of the 9th. So anything after anything today or onwards will not show up in the report. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go now to my 2 clients. I'm going to add a couple into MainWP child, a couple of tasks with some general notes. Within the date range, I'm going to put one outside of the date range, and which we know shouldn't be pulled into our report. And I'm also going to add a single one to second MainWP child to prove that that doesn't generate through and that doesn't come through. And then what we'll do is we'll then generate that report and show that it only shows its own. So what I'm going to do now is go over to sites. I'm going to select MainWP child. I'm going to select work note, and this is the first known issue. It doesn't open here nicely like the rest of them do. It opens full screen. I've tried. I'm sure the code's right. I've obviously spelled something wrong. I will come back to it and look at it at some point, but for now, it operates as a full page. So I'm going to put a note in for the 2nd of September. This was some temporary work. And that note has been successfully added. And let's put one in for a little bit further. Let's say the 28th of August. And we'll say updated contact details. And we're saving that note. And then I'm going to add one to today saying installed custom notes. And that's done. And actually we can delete this. So this edit first, because I might have to delete after this because this is the second bug. It doesn't always on edit change the item. It sometimes adds an extra item rather than changing it. So this one we're going to change here from the 2nd of September. We're going to change from this was some temporary work to this was a great day. Why not? And that has edited, and it has done exactly what I thought it would do. It seems to only do it on the first edit you make. So if I delete now, this was some temp work, and that's it. It's done. So we have 3 now. We have 2 that are in date, and 1 that should be out of date of our report. So I'm just going to push the back button on my browser to reload back to my dashboard. I'm going to go back to manage sites. I'm going to select second MainWP child site. I'm going to add a work note to here. I'm going to put it in date range because we're going to want to pull it out later. So if I put it for the 4th, this is from the second site, and to save the work note. And that's it. We now set up to run our pro reports. So I'm going to go back again, and I'm going to go down to extensions, to pro reports, and back to my manual report. And from there, I'm going to make sure MainWP child is selected and preview that report. And all being well, we will have a preview of our report with a table in it. It does, and it only has the 2 that are in date, and it hasn't pulled in the 3rd. So we've only got the 2 that are in date, and it hasn't pulled in the 3rd item we added from that was out of date or from the other site. So that's working. That shows that's working. If I switch sites and preview the report, when it generates, we should have exactly the same. This is from the second site. So this is totally unique to each site, as it should be. They pull in based on the date range of the report, and that's it. It's tabular, so you should be able to pull this in with your site, generate a report, find out how to change it, and it should respond to CSS and HTML changes as it needs to. So yeah, that should work. So now we'll go back to GitHub and I will talk us out. So I will add a pack release here for you to download. It'll be this exact zip here. So that's the zip that you want to upload to your site. You've seen the 2 bugs that I've managed to find. If you could fix them, that'd be great. If not, I will have a look at them at some point in the future. And I would again like to clearly state I am not a developer. But this is why I love open source software. This is why I love GPL. It means I have the code. I can do what I want with it. And with a little bit of research, a little bit of trial and error, this is what I've managed to come up with today based on the question that was originally asked this morning on the Facebook group. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if there's something you would like a video on. Thank you.